Hello everyone, welcome back to the Microservice Masterclass. In the previous lesson, we learned how to design service boundaries and why every microservice should represent a single business capabilities. But that brings one of the most common architecture questions. How small or how large should a microservice be? Every single tiny features became its own service, or should we combine many features into one large service? If we make service too small, we end up managing hundreds of services. If we make them too large, we lose benefits of the microservice. Finding the right balance is called service granularity. Let's understand this using the infographic on your screen. Let's begin with the first section. You can see two cubes. One represents a very large service, the other represents many tiny services. Granularity simply refers to the size of microservice, or more specifically, how much business functionality it contains. Think of granularity is like cutting a pizza. If you cut it into only two huge pieces, each slice is difficult to handle, right? If you cut it into two tiny pieces, serving and managing them become difficult. The goal is to find the right size. That is why the diagram highlights find the right size, not too large, not too small. Instead, choosing a size that balance business need, team productivity, and system complexity. This balance is what every architect should look for. Now let's move to the green section. A fine grained service performs very small task. As shown in the example, instead of having one order service, we have split into multiple. Order create service, order validate service, order price service, order discount service, order history service. Each service is tiny and highly focused. This approach has several advantages. Each service is simple, each can be deployed independently, team can work without interfering with one another. However, there are also challenges. Since one business request now involves many services, network calls will increase, communication becomes more complex, monitoring becomes harder, operational overhead increases. Imagine placing an order. Instead of calling one order service, your application might call 5 or 6 services just to complete a single request. That adds latency and operational complexity. This approach is suitable only for very large organization and many teams and very scalability requirements. Now look at the purple section, third section. This shown coarse grained service. Here one service handles many different responsibilities. In the example, one large order service contains create order, validate order, price calculation, discount, payment, notification, and history. Initially, this seems easier. There are fewer services, fewer network calls, development or starts quickly, but over time problems begins to appear. The service became a large code base. Different teams modify the same application, right? Deployment became risky. Scaling became inefficient because the entire service must scale together. The approach may be acceptable for small teams, early stage startup, monolithic application. but as the system grows, this design becomes difficult to maintain. Now let's examine the orange section. In this is the one of the most valuable part of this infographic because it provides architect decision framework like how to choose the right size. Let's discuss each factor. Business capability always starts with the business capability. Ask yourself, does this service represent one complete business capability? If the answer is yes, you are moving in the right direction. The second is the team ownership. Can one small autonomous team own this service? Ideally, one service should belong to one team. This avoids coordination, delays, and ownership confusion. The third one is data ownership. Each every service should own its own database. Avoid shared database because they create tight coupling between services. Change frequency. Do different features changes at different rates. If one part changes every week while another changes once a year, consider separating them. This enables independent deployment. The next one is communication overhead. More services means more network calls, more APIs, more monitoring. Always ask, is the additional complexity justified? If not, then rethink. Scaling needs. The next point is scaling needs. Do different parts of the system receive different traffic? For example, product search may receive millions of requests every day. Product review may receive far fewer. Separating them allows each service to scale independently. And the last one is future growth. Finally, think ahead. Your design should accommodate future requirements without forcing major redesigns. Now move to the next section, trade-offs. Let's compare both extreme scenario, right? Fine grained. What will happen if fine grained is too small? Advantage, highly flexible, right? But what is the disadvantage? There are so many. Too many services, complex communication, higher latency, difficult end-to-end testing, increased operational overhead, harder monitoring. Now let's think coarse grained. What if it's too large? Advantage is simpler communication, fewer services, right? But what about the disadvantage? Large code base, difficult maintenance, risky deployments, independent scaling becomes impossible, tight coupling, large blast radius during failure, right? So, what would be the balance approach then? This is where architect actually aim to. Notice the weighting scale in the center. The message is simple: choose the balanced services. Each service should contain enough functionality to represent a complete business capability, but not so much that becomes it's a mini monolithic. Right? Now let's move to the next section, characteristics of right size service. How we will find that this particular service which you are designing it is the right size now. It has actually few characteristics, and what are those? Focused on one business capability, highly cohesive, loosely coupled, on its own database, independently deployable, independently scalable, small team ownership, exposes a clear API contract. If your service satisfies these characteristics, you are likely designing it correctly. Now let's now let's see a one example of e-commerce application. This example ties everything together. On the left side, we see a queer screen design where everything is inside e-commerce service: user, product, orders, payments, inventory, shipping, notification, all sharing one database. This resembles a monolith. In the center, we see recommended architecture. Request arrives at API gateway. From there, they are routed to independent services like user service, product service, order service, inventory service, payment service, and so on. Each service has its own databases. Each service can be deployed independently, and each service can scale independently. On the far right, we see the opposite extreme. The order functionality has been split into the many tiny services: order create, order validate, order price, order discount, order history. This results in too many services, making the system difficult to manage. Right? The takeaway is clear. Aim to balance architecture in the middle. It shouldn't be too small, it shouldn't be too large. It should be small enough to fulfill the business capabilities. Right? Now let's see the checklist before you create any service. Ask yourself these questions. Does it represent a business capability? Can a small team own it? Does it own its own data? Will it need independent scaling? Is the API well defined? Will separating it reduce change impact? Is the communication overhead acceptable? Have we avoided premature optimization? If most answers are yes, then creating a new service is probably the right decision. Right? Then what is the today's key takeaway? There is no universal size for a microservice. Start with a business capability, keep service small, cohesive, and independent, but not too small. As your system and organization grow, continuously evaluate and refactor your services. Remember this principle: the right granularity is not the smallest service, it is the service that delivers complete business capability while remaining independently deployable, scalable, and maintainable. So, what's the conclusion? Conclusion is there is no right size for any microservice. It's all depend what is the business need, right? So today we explored one of the most important architectural decision in microservice, service granularity. We learned the difference between fine-grained and coarse-grained service, examined their trade-offs, reviewed the characteristics of a well-designed service, and walked through a real-world e-commerce example. In the next episode of the Microservice Masterclass, we will cover stateless versus stateful service, where you will learn why stateless service are the foundation of cloud native application, how session management works, and why stateless design makes horizontal scaling much easier. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next lesson soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.